Hello, everybody, and welcome back to JCTV. I'm Chris, and I am your game video consultant. And I actually have some exciting news. Number one, I got a new headset, so it's awesome. So now you guys can actually hear me a lot better. Um, Exciting news number two, as you can tell, that way. Or, wait, maybe. How do I point? There we go, that way. Okay. Sorry, I'm bad with directions. That way. Um, we are actually going to be reviewing Assassin's Creed Syndicate today. Now, hopefully, my rig will be powerful enough to run this relatively well. Unfortunately, I do not have a very powerful computer. I'm barely able to run this game as is, so hopefully, with us recording, it doesn't impact it too severely. Now, hopefully, if all goes according to plan, I will be able to show you guys some nice gameplay over here. If not, please disregard any really bad stuttering that's happening over here and just focus on the ginger in the corner. Um, so, um, that's thing number two. Thing number three. Today is actually February 1st. It's about to not be February 1st, but it is February 1st. And since I have been so out of commission lately, I have decided to do a very special thing. What I'm going to do is, for every single night in February, I am going to be releasing one review per day of 28 games, 28 days. I'm calling this Review Frenzy February. So hopefully I will be able to do this. I'm going to try my best. If I'm not able to do it, I'm not able to do it, but hopefully I'm able to do this. And one of the video games that I am going to be debuting is going to be very cool because since this is February 2016, Deadpool the movie will actually be releasing on Valentine's Day. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reviewing Deadpool the game on Valentine's Day, the same day the movie comes out. So that's going to be really cool, really awesome. I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, so enough business. Let's get down to the game. So Assassin's Creed Syndicate is actually a very kind of different game because they actually go in kind of two directions that are actually very good. They do bring in a lot of new stuff, but they also go back to some of the roots of Assassin's Creed. They get back into kind of more parkouring. There's less city building. Honestly, there's almost no city building, which is really awesome. Um, there's a few of the mechanics that we'll be going into is, as you can see up there, there's actually a tab called Gang Upgrades. In this one, we'll get into that in a little bit. So let's start off with story. The two characters you see above me, this lovely lady over here is Evie Fry, and this gentleman who is grayed out is actually Jacob Fry, and these are a pair of twin assassins that we get to play as in this game. And each assassin kind of has their own play style, because there really is two ways to approach any mission in Assassin's Creed. There's the stealth, or there's the running in, guns blazing, getting your friend shot in the ass. And as you can imagine, Evie is our stealth person, and her meathead of a brother is the, well, meathead. He's the one who runs in, guns blazing, getting his friend shot in the ass. So, personally, I prefer to play as Evie. She's kind of cool. Plus, she has this really cool corseting on the back of her outfit, and I don't know why, I just kind of like that. It's kind of cool. Because we've seen a lot of male assassins, and it's nice to actually see how a female assassin would actually look. Because we have seen NPC female assassins, but we haven't actually had the time of sitting down and controlling them. At least not in some of, say, the main games. With the exception, of course, of Miss Eveline de Grand Prix, who was originally on the PS Vita. But unfortunately, I have not gotten to play that game. So, at this point, Evie is the first kind of one that is main in the main series, not in a tangent. So, not that I have all respect for Miss Eveline de Grand Prix. She is amazing. I actually have a friend, Curly Girl Cosplay. She does an amazing Aveline de Grand Prix. You can find her on Instagram and you can find her on Facebook. So please, just a little plug there. So, yeah, check her out. She's really awesome. In fact, if you like Destiny, she actually just did The Stranger from Destiny. It is super awesome. She even did the gun. Anyway, enough about Curly Girl. So, back to the game. So, the story in this game is you play as the two twin assassins, and you basically go to London because you hear that London has basically become the hub of the Templars. The entire kind of world of the Templars kind of revolves around London. That is the base of the operations for the Templar Order. They have completely taken over basically everything in London. And so what you have to do is you first have to undermine pretty much the top dogs in the city and slowly take out and kill them and, you know, basically bring them out and things like that. There's actually quite a cast of citizens in London that you have to take care of, including a little girl who is basically the queen of the orphans. She is really cool, and the orphans are pretty cool because, unfortunately, this is an unfortunate part of history. There was a lot of child slave labor in London at this point in time. Sorry, it existed. And so what you do is one of the things that you do in this game is you actually will liberate children from these slave houses. Sorry guys, I have a bit of a cough going on, so if my voice goes a little wonky, I apologize. Anyway, then another guy that you work with is he's actually a very kind of odd member of Scotland Yard. In fact, I can actually bring it up here. Give me just a second. Let me switch screens and bring up my database here. Encyclopedia, people, allies. So, so, bit of spoiler here. These are some of the people that you end up helping. Here he is. Frederick Aberline is actually a member of, I believe, Scotland Yard. No, Metropolitan Police. And he's actually a very cool character. Unfortunately, he has this habit of putting on the most ridiculous of costumes. I'm not going to completely spoil it for you, but when you first meet him, he's in a dress. So, there's that. Henry Green is actually another one of the associates that you meet. He's actually the top. He's pretty much the chief assassin kind of member in London. He is our guy on the inside. He's been here forever. And then of course there's Jacob Fry and Evie Fry here. Florence Nightingale makes an appearance. Oh, here is actually the girl that I was referring to, Clara O.D. She's really cool. Charles Dickens, you do meet. Charles Dickens is pretty cool. And then there's Charles Darwin. You know, evolutionary theory, awesome guy. Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell is actually our Da Vinci at this point. He is the one who kind of comes up with a lot of your gadgets, and he is a really, really awesome guy, and some of the toys that he comes up with are amazing. I will show you them in a little while. So, those are just some of the people that you get to meet in this game, you get to hang out with, and you generally get to mess things up with. So, what we're going to do is we're just going to try this out. Alright, so it looks like I'm getting some pretty good frame rate here. There's not a lot of droppage, and I think we're about to get some combat unless I can get out of here. And I'm about to show you one of the coolest mechanics that they are bringing to in this game. And that is, I have a grappling hook, and it makes you feel like Batman. I'm sorry, but it just does. Oh wait, I have to actually turn here, because they're not going to let me up onto this thing. In fact, one of the things you can do is, see how it says left button over there? I can actually zip line from here to there. As long as you're on an edge, you can zip line from one edge to another. It is really awesome. You can do it up, you can do it down, you can do it any which way direction you want, as long as it's kind of reasonable, as long as you're not going 1,000 miles or something. And this actually really helps. And I love the fact that they initiated this because they kind of detected a problem and kind of cut it off at the knees. And that is one of the things that makes this game different from any of its predecessors is that you're actually able to use cars. Well, not cars per se, but wagons. And because there are wagons, the streets are now a lot bigger. And because the streets are a lot bigger, you can't just jump from one side of the street to the other, like you would, say, Italy or any of the other locations. The streets are just too big. You cannot humanly jump from one side of the street to the other. So they kind of implemented this in order to be able to kind of facilitate you moving from one place to the other, and it actually makes it a lot easier to maneuver the city. And one of the things that I actually absolutely hated in the other Assassin's Creed games was having to follow people around. It was a terrible mechanic. I hated it. It would irk me to no end because there was never really ever a place to hide, and even if you went and did some fancy parkouring and stuff, you still wouldn't be able to follow them in all situations. With this new kind of grappling hook mechanic, you're actually able to follow anybody. As long as they're around buildings, you're able to follow them. Another thing that I really liked that they implemented, let me see if I can actually remember which button it is. Let me see. I actually can't remember what button it is. So let's look here, because I can't remember how to... let me see here. Where is it? How do I... Oh, Eagle Vision. Okay, left stick. Okay, I couldn't remember how to bring up the Eagle Vision because it's changed buttons so many times. But the Eagle Vision, they've actually replaced it from Unity. In Unity, it was just a pulse, and it had a cooldown, which made it extremely difficult to use. This is one of the most fundamental things that makes an assassin, and you couldn't use it 80% of the time. It really stunk. So they've actually gone back, they've given you the original Eagle Vision, and they actually kind of changed it up a little bit, because you actually have to unlock certain skills as you progress, and they make it to where you kind of have to upgrade your Eagle Vision as you go. It starts off, you know, you can use it whenever you want, no time limits, no nothing, but the range is a little terrible, and you can't really see through walls. But it gives you it starts giving you the ability to where, hey, it's a little wider now, or hey, you're able to see the enemies through walls now, which makes it, of course, as we all know, if we played an Assassin's Creed game, it makes it so much easier. And you guys probably saw there's a Sydney here. Anyway, so that kind of really helps to kind of, you know, make you a little more assassin-y. And I'm at the edge again. Keep doing this. Why do I keep doing this? Another thing is it's actually a very big world. I actually love and hate how big the world is in this game now, because you have actually pretty much every district in London to take care of here. And as you can see, these redded out areas are ones that are still controlled by the enemy faction. And they actually completely overhauled the whole taking over districts thing. And it actually is a lot more fun and a lot more frustrating at the same time, because you're able to there's more stuff that you're able to do, but it's also not completely hampering you if you don't do it. Like, say if I'm in one of these red areas, yes, there's a lot more enemies, but it's not a death sentence to walk into a red area anymore. which was kind of frustrating in certain games before. Um, one of the things that they did keep from Unity was you do have equipment, and it is. Oh, hold on. Let me switch over here. I have to be on level ground. Hold on. Okay, so you're actually able to have different weapons. There's actually 3 types of weapons that you're able to have at any given time. Well, not at any given time, but there's 3 possibilities for you to equip. There's the kukri, which are basically just a big knife. There is the cane sword, which is just awesome. I'm sorry, but that's just really cool when you have a cane sword. And then there is brass knuckles, which brass knuckles are more for coming in and beating someone to a pulp, if that's more your style. The cane swords are more for quick, slash attacks, and the kukri knives are they're more for just coming in one hit and they're dead. They're kind of the stealth weapon. And then your Assassin's Gauntlet is actually how you upgrade your defense, which it kind of functions as your armor. Allows you to kind of, not only, make your punches a little bit more oomph, but also allows you to take a little bit more damage. The firearms do return. Firearms are a lot cooler this time around. You start off with just a basic Derringer. It doesn't really do a whole lot. But then as you go, you get actual revolvers. And they are very, very easy to use. You can just point and click them. And it's not kind of the broken mess that the original hidden pistol was. And then there's also each character has one kind of item that only they're able to equip. For instance, Evie is able to have capes and Jacob has belts. So when you're Evie, you're able to equip different capes, and she wears them the same way Ezio did. The only difference is she doesn't flick it over her arm, which is a really subtle thing that I wish that they would bring back. That would be really cool. I know it's just a simple animation, but it's still cool. And then there's also kind of overarching outfits. You can change your entire look. In fact, you can actually make Evie into other characters, including Eveline de Grand Prix, or from Unity, Elise. So you can actually change, your entire outfit, entire character model if you want to. And then colors, you can choose different color schemes. Unfortunately, they're kind of restrictive. Most of them are, you just kind of have to make a certain, 20 pressed flowers or, 25 pressed flowers, 30 pressed flowers, things like that. Some of them you can only unlock through Uplay, which is a little bummer, but, such is life. And then your gear and your tools can actually upgrade as well. Like for instance, they have the toxic arrows that make people go crazy. If you stick just a basic one, it only works up to I think level 4 or 5. If you hit somebody who's level 7 with it, it's gonna do nothing to them. They're just all it's gonna do is alert them to your presence, and then you're, in trouble. Yeah, and they actually kind of simplified your tools a little bit. You've got your basic smoke bombs. Oh, that was actually an ability. One of the abilities you unlock is when you're Eevee, you can actually basically turn invisible if you stay still and aren't noticed by anybody. They have smoke bombs. They have, and these are really cool, the Volatic bombs. I don't have any right now. I should probably go grab some real fast, actually. Let's go grab some Volatic bombs, so that way, instead of just telling you what those are, I can actually show you. Because we all know what smoke bombs are. They're big smoke screen. You're able to kill people. That kind of stuff. Here's a merchant real quick. Let's buy some Volatic bombs, just because that. No, don't do that. No, don't go up there. You're up. drop. Don't go up there. I hit the wrong button. I do that every once in a while. I apologize. That's my bad. Let's go into this shop and let's buy some Voladic bombs.
Right
Because
here.
I need some Voladic bombs. Voladic bombs. Let's buy some Voladic bombs because I need those. Oh yeah, hallucinogenic darts. Those are fun.
We'll be
Those are the ones that make people go
tonight,
crazy.
Much thanks.
But Voladic bombs are actually very fun, and also very dangerous at the same time. What you do is you can actually aim them anywhere you want, and you can even use them on regular people. And what you do is like those red guys over there are blighters. Those are your enemies. What I can do is I can just toss this bomb in the middle of them, and instant electrocution.
Let's go for a stroll.
Kidnap that guy. So and they stick with a bit of the same combat as if you are careful, get 2 people near death and do something really cool. So, there's a lot of, cool mechanics that you can still do. Some things they brought back, some things they left the same. Basically, all of the problems that they had with EV, they fixed in this game. Another thing is, I remember in the old Assassin's Creed games, how if you desynchronized, it would allow you to run around in the Animus while you kind of respawn, kind of as the lid of the screen. They brought that back, which is really awesome. That's one of my favorite parts. I'm sorry, but running around in a circle never gets old. I know that sounds kind of simple, but such is life. What was I gonna say? Let's go with gang upgrades. Let's talk about gang upgrades. Because so Jacob basically has this aspiration of making this huge gang in London to basically take over the entire city. That's his way of doing it. Whereas his sister kind of wants to go the Templar way and kind of get artifacts and things like that. So she's kind of sneaky like that. But whereas Jacob just wants to get a bunch of people together, have them follow him, and go just destroy everything. But then again, that's kind of what guys do. I know that's really really anti-guy, but whatever. Anyway, the gang that you create is actually called the Rooks, and through this screen you're actually able to upgrade them. And one of the things you're able to do is you're able to make them higher level. You're able to give them firearms. You're able to give them enhanced firearms. More of them. Able to call them. All kinds of stuff. Able to put them, with brutes. You're able to get enforcers. There's different kinds of enemies now. It's not just the same 4 guys. It's a regular guy, a guy in armor, and a guy in really, really big armor with a gun. It's not just those. And there's a lot more different, kind of tactics that the enemies will use against you. And you're able to actually gain, followers with those abilities. So it's a really cool system. Anyway, as you can see, I actually have not done very many upgrades, and that's mostly because it used to be that where it says upgrade cost, a lot of times it'll glitch and it won't show you kind of what the requirements are, and it's really unfortunate. Let me see if it'll... Yeah, see here, the crafting cost, it doesn't show up. It doesn't show you what it is. It just says crafting cost, and it's red, and whatever it is, I have no idea, but it doesn't tell me. So there's no way for me to go and farm for something if I don't know what I'm farming for. So it's an unfortunate part of this game. Other than that, though, there's a lot of, and then you also have 3 different kinds of projectiles. You've got the gun, you've got throwing knives, and you've got hallucinogenic darts. All 3 of which, they function basically the same. You can hold left trigger to aim them, pull right trigger to fire them. It's just like a first-person shooter, which is very nice. Um, but what was I gonna say? I don't know. Anyway, I'm starting to run out of ideas on what to talk about. Um, so at this point, we are going to shut the game off, and I'm going to switch my screens here. Um, so, all in all, this is an awesome game. I highly recommend that you guys get it, so that way you can experience all of the really awesome things and tweaks that they've added, and all of the bugs that they've taken away. So, this has been. Oh, right. I have to actually give it a score, don't I? So I would say, honestly, this game is probably a 9 out of 10. There's a couple things I don't like about it, but other than that, and it was kind of buggy in the beginning. It still is kind of buggy, unfortunately, so that kind of docks a point for it. But other than that, it is a really awesome game. The story's a little predictable, but other than that, it's a really, really awesome game. I think you guys will enjoy it. I highly recommend you play it. Um, so, this has been Chris from JCTV signing off. I'll see you guys tomorrow night.